Hi, welcome back to E3D Designs. Today, we're going to wire in the constant 12 volt power supply to power our E3D heatsink cooling fan. Let's get started. Alright, so according to E3D, we need to have a constant 12 volt power supply feeding our heatsink cooling fan. Now, lots of videos I've seen recommend just soldering a wire straight to these pins here on your circuit board. Anytime soldering on a board is probably not a good idea, depending on your skill level. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to go ahead and disconnect this connector right here. What we're going to do is, the yellow wire is your 12 volt, black wire is your ground. We're going to cut one of each of these, and we're going to splice in a JST connector to here, and hook the other end up to our yellow and green wires that are feed out to the fan. And then we'll have our 12 volt power supply without soldering to our motherboard. So I'm just going to pull back a couple inches here and cut one of each. Go ahead and strip the wires on each of these. Alright, so I've already gone ahead and pre-tinned all the wires. Now I'm going to go ahead and put on the heat shrink and start soldering our wires together. Alright, so I've got my yellow wires all set up. I'm going to go ahead and solder the red to the yellow. Now, if you don't have big enough heat shrink, you may have to put a little bit of electrical tape over this. And there's our black. As you can see, I got a little bit of wire exposed there, and at the moment I cannot find my electrical tape. Don't worry, I will get that covered up. Unfortunately, the shielding got in the way and I couldn't get my heat shrink pushed back far enough. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and splice on our other connector. According to our cheat sheet, the yellow is the positive, the green is the negative. Go ahead and put our heat shrink on first. Alright, so real quick, I went and found my electrical tape. I've got this all taped up and protected now. All that's left is to connect this to our main board, plug in our 12 volt power supply, and we have completed wiring in the 12 volt power supply for our cooling fan, and we have completed the wiring harness to our hot end. Alright, so that wraps up this episode. In our next one, we're going to go ahead and make a new wiring harness for our X motor and X end stop. Remember, if you like the channel, subscribe to it, ring that bell for notifications. If you want to help support the channel, I've got a wish list and a PayPal me link at the bottom of the description. And remember, if it ain't broke, upgrade it. We'll see you next time.